I'm going to be doing a video on the top 4 algae eaters that I have had in my aquarium. So, my number 4 would probably be the ghost shrimp. I had some ghost shrimp in here, and I liked them. They look cool, but they're not a very good algae eater, so I would not recommend them for algae eating. I had 5 in here, but they are gone. They used to hang out under the sponge filter, and I have no idea where they went. They probably got eaten. So, yeah, they were a really awesome thing to add to my aquarium, but not very beneficial for algae eating. My number 3 would probably be, I have a clown pleco. Now, these are really cool fish. I really like them. He's right there. He kind of likes to hang out in the rocks and on the wood. And also, if you have a clown pleco, make sure you have wood in your aquarium. They love wood. But they don't really do very good algae eating. They'll clean up the decor. But I've had a lot on the glass. I used to have a bunch on the sides, but my number 1 almost completely got rid of all of it. I had algae almost everywhere. My number 1 pick got rid of like all of it. So that's why it's my number 1. Yeah, but they're an absolutely gorgeous fish. I love them. If you're gonna get a pleco, I'd recommend a clown pleco because they don't get that big and they're really cool. Instead of a pleco, if you really like them, a Hillstream loach looks almost exactly like a pleco, but it almost has like butterfly wings on it, and it looks really cool. It looks basically like a clown pleco with like butterfly wings. That's a really cool fish to have. So if you're looking into something like that, I'd recommend a Hillstream loach instead of a pleco. But to be honest, they're really cool fish to have, but they're not very beneficial for algae eating. I've heard the Hillstream loach is a little better about algae eating. But personally, I would recommend not getting a pleco. I'd recommend obviously getting the number 1 on this video. Oh, there he goes. He's moving around. But yeah, he's a really cool fish. I've also heard that they produce a lot of ammonia. I haven't seen that. I haven't been able to tell that. I have no idea. I've seen people who test it with like the waste catchers or something like that. And apparently they produce a lot, but who knows? I mean, I love the fish, but it's not very good at eating all my algae. So my number 2, which pairs really well with number 1, is the Corydoras. These things are awesome at sifting through the substrate and getting in there and getting all the debris out there. It's really hard to tell on my fish tank just because I have a black substrate. It's hard to tell if I have algae on there. But I can always see them sifting through. You can see them right there. He's sifting through the substrate, getting rid of some of that algae. And then they kind of go, I don't think they're actually eating anything, but they kind of like to go along the walls too. But they're more of like a catfish, so they'll stay on the bottom and eat through some of that. They'll eat on decorations, like that one is kind of eating on the wood. But they're a really cool fish to have. I have 2 Julies, which are those like spotted ones, I'm pretty sure, Julies. And then I have 2 albino Corydoras, which are in the back, like that one. Those are both really cool species to have, but there's a lot of different species that you can get. Those are just the 2 that I have. And then my number 1 pick would be the Nerite snail. There it is. These things have devoured the algae that is in my fish tank. I used to have algae all over the sides right there and over here. I still have some green algae on the back, but I've seen them been working through that. On the front I had a bunch, and now it's all gone. And it's been ever since I got these Nerite snails, they've been absolutely devouring the algae. And they're really cool patterns too. Originally, they were gonna go in the tank that we have upstairs, but we have a blue like crawdad in there, and it flipped one over and ate it out of the shell. So that's what that empty shell is the remains of the other one. So the Petco guy told me that it wasn't gonna eat the snails. Yeah, that's a very hungry crawdad. it decided to flip over the snail and eat it. So I moved them in my tank just because I didn't want the rest to get eaten, and they absolutely devoured my algae. So I just left them in here. Still working on trying to fix the algae problem in the tank upstairs. There's just not very many options with that crawdad. It likes to eat a lot of things. I'll have to post like a picture of that on my page just so you can see what that tank looks like. But yeah, those are my top 4 algae eaters that I've had in my tank. If you're gonna get algae eaters, I'd recommend the Nerite snail and the Corydoras. Another cool thing about the Nerite snails is there's so many different patterns that you get. One pattern that I really want to get is the red racer Nerite snails. They're really cool, but I have not seen them at the stores that I go to. But yeah, they're an absolutely amazing algae eater. So that's the list that I've had of my algae eaters. If you have any more that you think are really good, maybe I could look into them. Leave it down in the comments below. And that's the video. So see you guys.